There's a couple of ideas from NLP that work fantastically well in the seminar room, but don't work very well, if at all, out in the real world. And they involve how we make decisions. The first idea is to elicit somebody's decision-making strategy. Let's say you have an idea you'd like them to accept, or you have a product you'd like them to buy. Before you present the idea, or you present the product, you try to elicit their decision-making strategy. You ask them, how do you make decisions, Mr. Customer? And they tell you, well, I do this, this, and this. And then when you present the product or you present the idea, you can put it in terms of their decision-making strategy, and they think, oh, this seems so familiar. I'm going to do whatever you recommend. Unfortunately, this doesn't work because very few people have any clue whatsoever what their decision-making strategy is. And if you try to elicit their decision-making strategy, they'll come up with one, but it won't be very accurate. So if you present your product or service to them in terms of this inaccurate decision-making strategy, it's going to seem kind of like a mismatch. A similar idea is meta programs. If you elicit their meta programs, like, are you a towards pleasure person or away from pain person? Are you a big picture person or are you a small detail person? Are you a proactive person or are you a reactive person? These also work the same way. Nobody really understands what their meta programs are, and meta programs are very, very fluid. Everybody has different sides of the meta programs in different situations. So again, the strategy is that you elicit their meta programs and then you present the idea to them in terms of their meta programs, and they think, oh, this seems so familiar. I'm going to do whatever you say. And again, this works in the seminar room, but not in the real world. The good news is the way to use both of these ideas, it's much, much simpler than the way it's presented in the seminar room. The first step is to build up some kind of desire. Build up some kind of desire of what they want, the purpose of the conversation. Then ask them about some of the good decisions they've made in the past. Don't worry about getting their strategy. Just get them to recall some good decisions. It doesn't matter what they are. And just let them talk about their good decisions. And that will recall the good decision feeling they have in their mind. And when they have this good decision feeling they have in their mind, they'll be looking at your idea that you've elicited through the desire elicitation process. Then you can elicit their meta programs as far as how they make decisions. Just ask questions like this. So, Mr. Potential customer, when you decide to do something, do you decide to do something to move towards pleasure or away from pain? Now, here's the most important part. It doesn't matter how they really decide, because some people decide this way, sometimes this way. But when they answer the question, they're going to answer the question that makes them look good. And most people will want to make themselves look good. This is a function of our ego. And their ego will compel them to say, oh, I make decisions to move towards something good. I don't make decisions to move away from pain. That's what other people do. I'm a go-getter. I'm after the good things in life. I make decisions to move towards something very, very good. And then you can say, when you make decisions, Mr. Customer, do you make decisions proactively or reactively? And their ego will compel them to say, oh, I make decisions proactively. I'm not like those guys who sit around and wait for fires to get me to be motivated. I make decisions in my own mind first, and I go out and get stuff in the world. That makes them look good. Their ego will compel them to say, I make decisions proactively. Another question you can ask is, when you make decisions, Mr. Customer, do you make decisions independently or do you need to check with other people? And because of their ego, because they want to look good, they will say, oh, I make decisions independently. Another question you can ask is, when you make decisions, Mr. Customer, do you make decisions and then give up at the first sign of trouble, or do you crush through the inevitable obstacles that will show up in your path? And again, their ego will compel them to say, oh, I crush obstacles that show up in my path. And then you can ask a follow-up question. So in your past, what are some of the biggest obstacles you've overcome? And they'll give you some answers, and just listen to them talk. If you ask questions this way, you don't need to worry about their specific strategy. You just need to ask these questions, and this will put them in the perfect decision-making mindset. They will have recalled their best decisions in the past, which means they'll be in that fantastic decision-making mood. They'll have that fantastic decision-making energy in their brain, and they will have identified themselves as somebody who makes decisions proactively, as somebody who moves towards good things, as somebody who makes decisions independently, and critically, somebody who doesn't give up when there's any obstacles. This will put them in the ideal decision-making mindset, and if you build up their desire strong enough first, and then ask these questions second, it'll be poof, an easy sale or an easy acceptance of your idea. If you'd like to learn more about how to use these simple techniques to make a lot more money in sales, check out the links below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.